Welcome to English with Fiona. Today we're going to look at how to talk about your job. So there'll be some phrases for you and some vocabulary to answer questions that people might have about your job so that you can introduce yourself and explain your role. So let's start with describing your job title and your role. First of all, I am a or I am an. So I am a manager or I am an online English teacher. And this one you use the title of your job to describe it. I work in, now we're going to choose a specific department, part of your company or an industry. I work in human resources, I work in online education, I work in sales, I work in marketing. And I work for is the company name. So here you would list, I work for Microsoft or I work for Amazon. Some people don't work for a company. They could say, I am self-employed or I work for myself. And I am in charge of, or I am responsible for. So now we're talking about your main tasks that you have in your role. So you could be in charge of project development. I am responsible for compiling reports or analyzing data. The important thing to remember here is when we have I am in charge of, or I'm responsible for, the word after it is going to be ending in ing. So I'm in charge of compiling reports. I'm in charge of meeting people. I'm responsible for taking orders. I'm responsible for with ing. If you're talking about your daily tasks and your responsibilities, a typical day at work, if someone says, what's your job like? What do you do every day? So you could say, I handle processing of new clients, or I manage the teams that go to the installation sites. My typical day involves typing reports. My typical day involves interviewing clients and requesting information. I'm responsible for dealing with customers, or I'm responsible for dealing with complaints. And I have to supply, I have to organize, I have to purchase. So we have a verb after I have to, and this is what you do on a typical day, your daily tasks. So let's look at some phrases and expressions to describe our job. First of all, we could say it's a demanding job. Means there's a lot of pressure. It's a challenging job. It's quite difficult. I have to think, I have to concentrate. It's a rewarding job. Makes me happy. I get satisfaction from how I resolve. It could be complaints or inquiries from customers. It's a fast-paced environment. Fast-paced means obviously very busy, very rushed. Things change very quickly, so you've always got to be very fast, quick, on your toes. I work from 9 to 5. This is seen as your conventional hours, even though a lot of people might start at 8 and end at 6 or 9 to 6, but we say I work from 9 to 5. Or I work flexible hours. Flexible means perhaps you can choose. You could start at 11 and finish later, or you could start earlier and finish earlier, as long as there is a set amount of hours you do in a day. Some expressions here. I'm snowed under. So what it means if you're snowed under, it's like overwhelmed. There is too much. You are too busy. Too many things that you have to deal with. And I am swamped. The same idea. Overwhelmed, too much, too busy. Let's have a look at some common phrases that you will hear in businesses. So let's touch base next week. To touch base means to connect, to meet. Perhaps a phone call, or perhaps you'll actually get together in person. I'll follow up on this. Very common to hear follow up. It's to check on the progress, to go back and make sure that something has been done. We need to meet the deadline. Okay? The deadline, this is the date in the future that a deliverable is required, the project must be completed, something must be handed over, the deadline is that final date. I'm looking for a new challenge. So perhaps you're not so happy in your job anymore. You are looking for something new, something different to do. So when you're discussing job searching and applying for new jobs, you could say, I'm looking for a new challenge. Remember to keep practicing on your own. This could involve writing sentences in the comments, which I will check for you if you want. Read daily. It's great for new vocabulary and phrases. And listen. Either listen to podcasts or some audio so that you can pick up these expressions and phrases and get used to them. See you next time.